And I call you that because of your YouTube channel. What is that channel?
It is BillyDzCollection on YouTube. It's just like it sounds. It's D small Z and we're good. Yeah, you won't be able to miss it.
Yeah, and that will be written on there, okay? The link to get to you. So, okay, we are going to talk about what I really loved about you, first of all, is you weren't a crazy person at all.
That's always bonus.
You're so kind, and I absolutely just adored you. You were talking about something that most people don't, and which was, we talked about, and we titled it together, calling Respecting the Paranormal.
Yes.
So let's have you go ahead and talk about respecting the paranormal. You can do whatever that you want with your story.
Okay. Well, respecting paranormal, in a nutshell, when I say that, it just means having respect for anybody in general, whether they're here or not here. Mainly because people are the same way when they are passed over as they are when they're here. They're the same kind of person. So they're just not in physical form. So I try to look at everything as respect unless there's some reason not to. And so when I like to say that a lot, and I bring that up because I've seen so many places that I've gone to that have been vandalized, that have been, people don't take care of it, or they walk all over everything, things like that. And that's one of the things that really bugs me when I see that, because it's just plain disrespect. And people tend to think if someone's not in physical form, they're gone. They're still very much there. They are you just don't see them.
Right,
so,
exactly. Yeah,
yes.
We talked about that, and one of the biggest things for me was the grave walking. Explain about that, because I do exactly what you do. So why don't you talk a little bit about the grave walking?
Okay. When I go through cemeteries, just in general, which first of all is my favorite place to be, as well as one of the other things about the cemeteries is it is very calming and relaxing for me. Being an empath, all that stuff. It's a kind of a place where, you're there with just the spirits around. There's nobody around. You can speak whatever you want. They're there listening. They see me. They know I'm there. And really it's just a matter of when I go through, I try to go through and look and find what catches my eye, that sort of thing. And I'll come through and do a little bit of filming. I try to include people on the headstones. I'll try to read them as much as I can, because a lot of people that watch it might not be able to read it. Right. And I've had people thank me for doing that because they couldn't read it. Right. So when I go in, long story short on that part, when I go in, first thing that I'll do is I will let them know why I'm there. I'll let them know that, and I'll say this out loud, like I'm talking to everyone here. I will say it out loud, what I'm doing, that I'm there out of respect. I'm not there to cause problems or vandalize or anything like that. And when I do that, I feel completely comfortable. There's nowhere that I've been that I've felt uncomfortable.
Right. And also you do not walk on the graves. I don't either.
No. I will always try to step around them as much as, obviously, if you're going through, you don't always see them. So occasionally you're still going to step where you shouldn't, but
Yeah.
if you make a conscious effort. I try to step around them, around the stones especially. And if I'm going to get up close to it, I'll try to stand kind of at the foot rather than standing on top of it, just out of respect.
Yeah, I mean, I find that's what I just loved about you, because I do the same thing, as you do, out of respect.
Yeah.
And actually, it's kind of funny because one time I was in a cemetery, Dee and I was trying, walking through the graves, and I couldn't not step on another one, so I jumped over towards a tree. And I got caught in the tree. I couldn't get out of the tree. And I finally was like, Dee had to come rescue me, and I was telling him, no, don't stop him, don't step on the grave. So anyways, it was just really funny. I mean, that's how weirded out I get about it. So when you're in there, I know that I know mainly you do cemeteries, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you start doing this? Where did this passion come from?
Well, the cemetery part of it itself, I started really getting, I want to say it was last year, the channel's been just over a year old now. About that same time is when I started going in there into the cemeteries and, started filming and all that other stuff. This was last year, and it started as one of those things that it seemed like it was a good idea because I've always been very, sensitive to it. I've had a lot of experiences, things like that. So it just seemed like a good idea. I wasn't working at the time, and I was out. I was like, hey, let's go do this. And then it just kind of snowballed. And now it's gotten to where I do mostly cemeteries, and I have a couple of other minor things that I do occasionally. I also like the history part of it as well. So like historical figures.
Right.
Or things or people in history that people might not realize that person is literally a mile from them.
Yeah.
Things like that. I like to bring that stuff out there as hey, did you know this is here? Did you know this person is right over here? They did that.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, you're really into it. I mean, it's pretty cool to watch. I'm just going to say something kind of funny from my past. When I was 10, there was a cemetery on a hill from where we lived. And I would go up there all the time, okay? And one day my mom couldn't find me. And I was walking down the hill, and she realized that I was in the cemetery. And I was like, well, I go there all the time. So were you fascinated by this just within the last year, or actually your whole life? Or did you have, different incidences that kind of led you down this road?
It's something that I guess you could say I kind of fell into it in a way. I'm not sure if that's the right way to put it, but it's something that I started because I had more free time.
Yeah, okay, right.
And I started noticing, flipping through, and there was a couple of YouTubers that I saw, and there was one guy in particular, which I had even talked to him before and told him, that, hey, I think you're cool and stuff. But he was one that really got me interested in it, just seeing how he was doing. And I'll go ahead and I'll tell you the one that caught my interest. There's one in a cemetery over here in Oklahoma City that is a female outlaw. And she was affiliated with outlaw names like Jesse James.